The following news flash is brought to you by the Lone Star Lowdown, providing your daily bulletins for the commodities market. Today in history, news updates, and the inside scoop into the tides of the alternative. Markets for the 16th of January 2016 opened up with gold at $1,088.56 an ounce, silver $13.91 an ounce, Texas crude $29.42 a barrel, and Bitcoin is currently at 366 U.S. currency. Today in history, Friday, January 16th, 1920. The first assembly of the League of Nations is officially held in Paris. The League of Nations was set up as a result of World War I and was disbanded on April 20th, 1946. Almost a year after the founding of the United Nations. In recent news, a Pentagon accountability review found that the Army's Dugway Proving Ground in Utah had inadvertently shipped live anthrax samples for more than a decade. Richard Ebright, a microbiologist at Rutgers University who has testified before Congress on lab safety standards, stated that, quote, "This was not a mere culture of complacency requiring reprimands or employment consequences. This was criminal negligence. There needs to be criminal charges." Of course, Army officials said that there was no findings of any criminal wrongdoing while continually stressing that no single individual was directly responsible for the shipments. The names of a dozen or so individuals who might possibly be facing disciplinary actions, maybe perhaps even possible termination, were blacked out on the report. Currently, labs that work with potential bioterror pathogens are regulated by the Federal Select Agent Program, which are jointly run by the Center of Disease Control and Prevention and the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The CDC and the USDA operate their own labs and are part of the departments that fund research at the labs they inspect. The family of deceased Jonas Savimbi, legendary Angolan rebel leader who was assassinated by the MLPA back in 2002, is suing Activision Blizzard for $1 million over the depiction of Savimbi in Call of Duty Black Ops 2. The Guardian states that 3 of Savimbi's children, who claim that the depiction of their dad is that of a half-wit and a barbarian, are using France's strict anti-defamation laws to seek reparations from Activision for damages from their father's depiction in the game. This wasn't the first time that anti-defamation laws were aimed at Activision for this very game. Manuel Noriega, as reported by PC Gamer, also tried suing because he was depicted as a cruel dictator. That case was thrown out. We'll see what comes of this one. This was your lowdown for January 16th, 2016.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nourishment for the Spiritual Warrior. This is Ryan Metzel. I am one of the hosts. All of my wonderful friends and colleagues are actually out in Australia right now, Skyping in. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Sure. My name is Andrew Lichtenberger. Some of you may know me as Lucky Chewy. We are, in fact, in beautiful Melbourne, Australia right now. It is summertime. And we're here for the Aussie Millions. And I'll let the rest of my friends introduce themselves.
Hi, this is Elisa Wampole, and I am also here in Australia enjoying the beautiful summertime. I am an Oriental medical doctor, acupuncturist, and health enthusiast, and I'm excited to speak with everybody today. Just for the record, today is the 16th of January, 2016.
And hello, this is David. We are in beautiful Melbourne today. It is approximately 7 a.m. And I know everyone loves mornings, especially Sunday morning after a long Saturday night. And the weather is absolutely gorgeous outside. We have the Australian Tennis Championship going on, and we have the Aussie Millions Poker Tournament going on. Last night was a great night. The events have been kicking off, being a lot of fun. And how's the weather there in Austin, Texas, Ryan?
Oh, it's beautiful today. It's been pretty much 60s and 70s for the past couple of weeks. Sunny. It doesn't look like they're chemtrailing us, so that's always a nice thing. And yeah, great to be here on the air with you guys. I've been on this network a couple times on the About Your Health radio show with Gary Hanna, and do lots of training, yoga, and martial arts around town. And yeah, it's great to finally get a show with you guys. This is absolutely amazing. It's been a long time coming, and I think a lot of people will be able to benefit from the knowledge that I've gotten from you guys, and that you guys have provided to the world. So very awesome.
And Ryan, I understand you've got a guest from Austin, Texas today.
Yeah, I have Manny Hernandez here. He is the owner of Freer Fitness 24, which is an incredible gym. It's probably one of the gyms that is located furthest in South Austin. So if you live down there, you definitely want to check it out. It's a locally owned business here in Austin. We all want to support locally owned businesses because that's really what keeps the economy running properly. And yeah, Manny, would you like to introduce yourself here?
Of course, thank you, Ryan. I really appreciate that. Again, my name's Emmanuel Hernandez. I'm with Freer Fitness 24, personal trainer, along with a veteran as well. So I understand the strengths it takes for the body to be changed mentally and physically. I'm really fortunate to be in this opportunity with Ryan and the rest of his colleagues. I'm excited to start.
Awesome. Thank you, Manny. And yeah, we had a show earlier this year, or last year, I guess. I was at the Zach Theater, and Manny was graceful enough to come out there and had a booth there, which was really cool. And you call the people who are your clients, actually, you call them life changers. Why do you use that terminology?
Good question, Ryan. I do call I guess you say clients life changers for multiple reasons. When you come into my gym, I'm not expecting you to come in here and giving you money per se. I want you to come in so you can understand what it means to be a life changer. And what that means is you have to change every aspect of your life for a physical change and emotional change and a mental change, a mental state, if you will. And the scholars, as you read your books, you'll learn three main goals need to be accomplished when tackling any fitness goal. First and foremost, you have to have proper nutrition, proper diet, of course. Second is exercise. You have to do exercise for your body to change in the way you want to, as far as the physical part of it. And finally is rest. Well, I incorporated I believe the most important one is mental strength. So you have to have mental strength, diet, along with exercise and rest to really understand what it means to be a life changer. And once you understand those four main goals, then you understand that it really takes a life-changing experience to change your body.
Awesome. Well, that's great, Manny. I've taught a few yoga classes there and trained a few clients, and it's definitely a great atmosphere. I definitely appreciate that kind of locally owned business as opposed to going to one of the big gyms like a Gold's Gym or an LA Fitness or something like that, where they're just hiring personal trainers off the street and paying a minimum wage. So I really like what you have going on there.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Love having you, Ryan. You're full of knowledge.
Thank you, guys.
Manny, a question. Once again, it was fantastic to have Manny at the event last year. We were blessed to have the World Natural Bodybuilding and Fitness Championships in Austin, Texas. It was the first time we had the event in Austin, Texas. And we had a great competitive field, and we had wonderful local booths that were there. And Manny, you came down, and it was great to have you there. What was the show like, and what was it like bringing the show to Austin, Texas, and how has that show affected fitness or just a general discussion of health and fitness in Austin?
Yeah, it was a great show. It was great because it was all natural competitors on stage, which you'll tend to see a lot, especially in the bodybuilding world, or the physique world, or the bikini. The enhancements that people take to become bigger and better. And as a society and as a fitness society, we tend to wrap our minds off. We got to get bigger. We have to be bigger, faster. And that's what we see on stage. I like to do comparison when I talk to my life changers about, bodybuilding. When Arnold Schwarzenegger went on stage, his physique was magnificent in that era. If you put a competitor like Arnold Schwarzenegger and a competitor like Ronnie Coleman, which is the 8-time Mr. Olympia, you put them on stage together, you're going to see a big difference. Physical wise, it's just night and day. I'm not discrediting Arnold, nor am I discrediting Ronnie Coleman, but nor am I suggesting that both of which took enhancements. What I am suggesting is that we tend to want to see bigger, better as years progress, because that's how that's how the fitness industry is starting to mold itself. So when you bring in a natural competition, as what happened last year, it was great to see these competitors and their physique, and understand that this is all natural, and understand this is not there's no enhancements in enhancements as performance enhancing PEDs involved, and they're all tested, and it was really great to see individuals from all over the world compete in that state and give it their all. It was an amazing feeling. It was really great to be reassured that, hey, one can go on stage and reach high limits, and he or she does not have to take all these synthetic or anabolic substances.
Yeah, for the listeners in the US, there are many different types of fitness competitions throughout the year. There's drug-tested competitions and there's non-drug-tested competitions. The IMBA, which is the world's largest drug-tested competition, uses Olympic drug testing and also uses lie detector testing. And for the event, you have to go through these testings. In the US, the illegal steroid industry, in some articles, is estimated worth about $400 million per year in the black market. So when you think about the largeness and the scope of this illegal steroid industry, we have like certain athletes that have admitted to doping. It's a real concern, and sponsoring an event like the IMBA Universe in Austin and showing people being so incredibly healthy, strong, and fit through natural means was just an incredible experience.
I definitely agree. I had talked with someone recently who said they had seen Ronnie Coleman. I don't know if it was the last Olympia or whatever, but he had gone on stage and he needed a cane just to barely walk. And so, this is a guy, you can see all his videos and photos of him lifting all these crazy weights, and he's not really that old, and now he's got to use a cane to walk around. And I don't think that's the quality or the level of health people are looking to reach. The baby boomer generation, my parents' generation, they're all seeing their parents getting really sick and injured. And a lot of times from, interacting with them over the holidays, their only goal is to be healthy. They keep telling me, keep doing what you're doing, stay healthy. It's the most important thing. And I think having an avenue like the IMBA, the Austin Universe show, where people can still compete, but they know they're in an atmosphere where there's not going to be these significant drugs being used that are going to harm their body later on in life.
Yeah, and it's really fascinating how fitness trends have been going. I remember back in the day watching these on YouTube these days, these 80s movies with big biceps, pumped up movie stars, and they're going to save the world with using their biceps. And now, with sports more in trend of mixed martial arts, of the Jet Lis, of the martial art heroes, fitness is becoming more and more about mobility, about health, about having a body that's functional. I know, Manny, your gym and fitness facility isn't just about trying to get a big bicep. It's right on the cutting edge of the trend of a complete fitness. Do you want to tell us some of the programs and some of the life-changing exercises and why you've implemented those?
Absolutely, and I definitely want to touch back on the trend. As a personal trainer, as a gym owner, and as a fitness advocate, what I see a lot is I see individuals and life changers, nonetheless, jump from trend to trend to trend to trend. When CrossFit came around, CrossFit was huge, and it still is huge by all means. But if you go from never doing CrossFit to jump into a CrossFit arena, the injuries that come with that are a lot higher. The percentage of you getting injured is a lot higher than if you go from never doing anything to a slow yoga type of class or general fitness class for beginners, whatever the case is. So with individuals that jump from trend to trend to trend, what you tend to see a lot of is injuries because they're not really working the fundamentals, they're not really working the basics, the correct form. They're just trying to get big, fast, and in a hurry. And again, it goes back to what we're talking about as far as the fitness competition. They want to get big, fast, and want to present this to the whole world. So we're let alone brainwashed with social media, with advertisements, with these multi-million-dollar supplemental companies who say, get big, take my supplements, this is going to do vascular dilate, this is going to get a nice pump, yada yada yada. So if you're looking to incorporate a fitness lifestyle, you have to understand that you can't go from trend to trend to trend to trend. You have to find out what works best for your body and your body alone. Because Ryan's body is a lot different than my body, as my body is a lot different than anybody else in this room. So you really have to figure out what triggers your body, what motivates you, and stay with it. Don't worry about the trends. Trends are, it's just like, if you keep on going from trend to trend, if you're trying to find the newest and greatest, you're never gonna give your body a fighting chance, and you're gonna find injury a lot more than if you stick with something until you reach a plateau, which takes 3 or 4 months. And once you reach that plateau, you go somewhere else.
I definitely agree. Well, we're coming up on our first break here on the Nourishment for the Spiritual Warrior radio show. So thanks to Manny here. We'll check in on some of the fitness trends coming up, and we'll get in with everyone from Australia on our way out.
This is the Logos Radio Network.
Hello, everyone. We're back from break. Manny, did you want to finish your answer for the rest of the question that Ryan had asked you?
Of course, yeah. So as I was saying, the trends, you really have to find a balance in yourself, find a balance in your body, find out exactly what's fundamental for your body and not worry about anybody else, worry about common trends. You can find that at our gym, especially due to our classes. We have classes throughout the week. Yoga is one of the most important classes, whether you are in for the weight loss program, weight maintenance, or even weight gain. You have to incorporate a foundation of yoga into your workout routines. It's so crucial for muscle elasticity along with tendons and ligaments. It's a great class we have going on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Also with that, we have general fitness classes, which target the different parts of the body. If you work out, if you're looking to work out, you have to understand your muscles are very adaptive, and you cannot do the same thing over and over again because those muscles become used to it, and the growth will be restricted. So with that being said, you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday classes that all are different types of classes, from lower body to upper body to core stability, to cardio and minor muscles and major muscles. So again, the class that we provide, they will not let you reach a muscle plateau, but they'll also incorporate a fundamental exercise routine to help you learn about your body and get started in your fitness journey.
Yeah, that all sounds great to me. I'm a little bit new to fitness. I grew up playing some sports, but everything you're saying resonates with me and my experiences with fitness, and especially with yoga and meditation and finding a little more of the spirituality in my life, and transitioning a bit into another topic that I've found really close to my heart this lifetime, being gaming. I play poker professionally, and everything you're saying goes hand in hand with having a balanced mind at the table, because the hours are so long, and it's incredibly important to maintain that mindfulness throughout, because any small lapse in judgment and the previous 12 hours of work can just wash away just like that. And I thought it was fascinating that even philosophers of years past seem to have similar thoughts on gaming. And there is a quote I found. I don't know if it's directly true or paraphrased, but Plato was quoted as having said that you can learn more about a person in an hour of gaming than you can in an entire year of conversation. And I find it fascinating because in the anthropomorphization of gaming, people generally, in my experience, find it difficult to hold back because it's a different format to a discussion platform or an interaction. Whereas in conversation, sometimes social norms or taboos prevent people from fully expressing themselves. And I guess that's just one of many reasons that I think gaming is so fascinating.
And Andrew, you've been playing poker professionally since you were approximately 21?
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, I was playing poker loosely professionally when I was 18 and 19, but I guess to be playing professionally, you actually have to be making a living. So yeah, 21 is probably more accurate.
And when you're sitting at these tables, sometimes you might be sitting at a table for about 10 hours. I know when we were at the Aria in Las Vegas, they had a high roller event there. And it was it started, I believe, at noon, and it went till 10 a.m. So we had a winner.
Yeah, that is accurate.
And so how many hours is that, Dr. Lisa?
Too many for me to count.
And during that time, they gave you, 15-minute break every couple of hours?
Yeah, every 2 hours, you get a short break, use the restroom, or have a snack, do some stretching, whatever. But yeah, pretty much just streamlines on through.
And this was a big game. There's about, I think, 45 players, and it was about, 25K buy-ins?
Yeah, that is all accurate.
So, yeah, a lot of money and a lot of thoughts running around. A lot of people want to make good decisions. What were some of the things that you're doing with personally your fitness, your health, your mindfulness that's allowing you to make good decisions? And Andrew actually did win that tournament at 10 a.m. In the morning. And looking at him, we were watching him play, and the opponent he was playing, his name is Eric Seidel, incredible player. He's on the world circuit for many, many years, maybe about 25 years. And he's just an incredible player, but it just seems like Eric just ran out of steam at the end. He was playing fantastic and just said, you know what? My body needs to go to sleep.
You guys might remember Eric Seidel from that movie Rounders. And anyone who's listening, if you want to learn more about Andrew, you can go to his website. It's luckychewy.com. That's LUCKYCHEWY.com. And you have a great book that you just wrote, Andrew, too, The Yoga of Poker. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Thanks, Ryan. Yeah. The book, I guess, will also answer David's question insofar as my approach to preparation for poker and dealing with both the emotional side, the mental, physical, and of course the spiritual side, and how it all works together. And I just find that if you take the time to prepare yourself for the long sessions, that when you go in, if you actually are ready to sit at the table for such a prolonged period of time, you really set yourself up for success. Whereas if you haven't done exercise or there's something else on your mind that's causing your thoughts to kind of flee from the present moment, it makes it really difficult to focus on the game, because your mind, whatever your mind is kind of focused on, is kind of where your experience is going to end up. So if I'm just focused on sitting there being present, kind of watching reality unfold before me, it makes it much simpler and much more enjoyable to sit there and have the poker experience. And the book, in some ways, is a journal of my experiences working with David on mindfulness leading up to a tournament that was in the last quarter of 2014, where I was also blessed enough to win that one. And
Andrew, what was that tournament? And you can watch it on, was it Fox that broadcasted that tournament?
Fox Sportsnet, is that right?
Yeah, that's true. And it was a WPT Alpha 8 event, and I think they streamed them out online. Yeah.
And Andrew, that WT Alpha 8 event, I believe, was the largest amount of entrants in an Alpha 8 event. How many entrants approximately were there?
I want to say there was around 50 entrants.
Yes, it was around 50 entrants. It was a 100K buy-in with rebuys. So if you guys were in there for a couple of bullets trying to get the trophy, yeah, you were blessed enough that year to have an incredible year and to come up with the trophy. And it was a big, long tournament. How many days did that tournament go for?
Went for 3 days, and yeah, it's grueling. I mean, some of the main events go for 5, 6, 7, even 8 days, with no breaks throughout. Every day you're waking up, going in. The high rollers with the smaller fields comparatively don't last quite as long, but you're playing against the top players in the world. So the level of focus you need to bring, in my opinion, humbly far exceeds the amount of focus you need for a main event, where there's a few more amateurs, recreational players sprinkled throughout the field.
And for all our listeners, we're talking about playing Texas Hold'em here with no limit. So a big call out to Texas. Thank you so much for the game. We have traveled a lot of the world, and we've seen Texas Hold'em. Anywhere you can be in the world, you can find a game of Texas Hold'em. We're in India, we're in Berlin, we're in Australia, and everyone loves Texas Hold'em. So thank you, Texas.
Well, except here in Texas, Dave, where it's not legal to play Texas Hold'em poker.
Really, Ryan? You're in Texas and you can't play Texas Hold'em? What's going on there?
We can carry guns around now on the street, open carry, but we can't play a card game. So
wow. Well, let's chat about this after the break, because Texas Hold'em internationally is a multi-billion-dollar industry. I mean, at the World Series in Las Vegas alone, there was around 40,000 people that turned up to play. So after the break, let's chat about Texas Hold'em.
There's more money getting shipped overseas. See you after the break.
Fires, earthquakes, yikes. Our homes are subject to lots of threats, but the number one cause of catastrophic water damage is something you can easily prevent. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, back with a quick tip to keep your house dry next.
Privacy is under attack. When you give up data about yourself, you'll never get it back again. And once your privacy is gone, you'll find your freedoms will start to vanish too. So protect your rights, say no to surveillance, and keep your information to yourself. Privacy, it's worth hanging on to. This message is brought to you by StartPage.com, the private search engine alternative to Google, Yahoo, and Bing. Start over with StartPage.
When was the last time you replaced the hose on your washing machine? I bet you never have, and that's not smart. Burst washing machine hoses are the number one cause of catastrophic water damage. See, every time a washing machine cycle ends, it sends a shockwave through the pipes. After years of this water hammer, the rubber gives out and the hose can burst. And when those hoses go, they really gush. It's like a garden hose in your laundry room. Not what you want to come home to after a long day at work. So a good rule of thumb is to replace them every 5 years or use stainless steel flexible piping. Otherwise, your house could be hosed. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht for StartPage.com, the world's most private search engine.
You're listening to the Logos Radio Network at logosradionetwork.com.
Hey guys, welcome back. We are talking about poker. We're here in Melbourne. We're the Aussie Millions.
And we're talking about Texas Hold'em. Now, I'm not sure exactly when Texas Hold'em started, but it did seem to come from Texas. And now Ryan's informing us that you can't play Texas Hold'em in Texas. Now, Texas Hold'em is a multi-billion-dollar industry around the world. People fly to Macau, people fly to the Philippines, Australia, London, Ireland, anywhere you can think about. People are playing Texas Hold'em. People are playing Texas Hold'em online. There's many online providers where there's up to 100,000 people logged online to play Texas Hold'em. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and from my understanding, Ryan, these loving Texans don't get to play Texas Hold'em the rest of the world community. What's going on?
I'm not sure. That's quite an interesting conundrum. Apparently, according to an article I read, it's the invention of Texas Hold'em is unclear, but Robstown, Texas is the official birthplace of the game, as declared by the Texas state legislature. So as long as the legislature says it must be true, I'm guessing. So it originated there, but now the Texas state legislature has also declared that you're not allowed to play it. So, but one good thing that we can do, I guess, taking baby steps and getting there, you are allowed to play for charity. So there is a charity Texas Hold'em event that is being held every Thursday at 12 here at Brave New Books, which is off of Guadalupe and MLK. It's right near the UT campus. So if you're in town here and you want to get a Texas Hold'em game, all the money goes to charities, and some really good charities, actually. So do you want to talk a little bit about some of the charities that the money is going to for that Texas Hold'em game?
Sure. The charities will be going towards our plans for sustainable organic farming and for research into alternative health and consciousness. And also, I believe one of Brave New Books nonprofit associates is providing fluoride-free filters.
Yes, that is true.
And interesting enough, Ryan, there is a area in Texas that just banned fluoride. Is that right? In water supply?
I believe so. Yeah, in South Texas, they just there's a new I forget what the city's called down there in South San Marcos, I believe. Yeah, I think San Marcos just passed where they've actually banned fluoride from the water, which is a great start. I wish they would do that here in Austin, and that I wouldn't have to use my distiller every day to be able to drink clean water.
And Ryan, I'm trying to remember, but there was a study that came out from Harvard, and I'm just paraphrasing. Maybe I'm getting the study wrong for listeners. Maybe you can bring it up online. Was it a study where they said that fluoride may reduce IQs, maybe approximately even 15 points?
Yeah, I believe it was somewhere between 10 and 20 points, which is pretty significant when it comes to IQ. You're talking almost 10 to 20%, just based by having fluoride in the water. And, the longer you have it, the more it's going to end up affecting you. So you can imagine what a child who has been just giving fluoride-filled water since birth, what potential would they have if they wouldn't have done that? Or what potential can be achieved if you remove that suddenly and you can get back to that state of consciousness and, get all those poisons and toxins out of your body.
And Ryan, you were able to bring up that article at all?
Working on bringing it up right now. It was San Marcos will stop adding fluoride to the water on November 12th. So that's a great one. And then I'll get the exact details on the Harvard study. In the meantime, actually, Dr. Lisa, could you talk a little bit about what products or what, herbal supplements would be good for, I guess, getting fluoride out of your system?
Sure. It's one of those funny things where the medical community doesn't really recognize that fluoride is an issue. But being that it's a toxic chemical, you use things that detox the body. So the first thing that comes to mind is shilajit, which is an Indian herb from the Himalayas. It's called, it's a strengthening herb. Do you remember Mover of Mountains? What was the name of it?
Destroyer of Weakness.
Destroyer of Weakness.
Yeah, Mover of Mountains, Destroyer of Weakness. And these concepts come from traditional Chinese medicine. Lisa's a traditional Chinese medical doctor, and also you'll find these concepts in India. We were in India for a month, looking at the different places where organic herbs are grown and the types of medicine being applied around the world. We're blessed to show that we are traveling around the world and exploring the different ways the world is interacting with health, mind, and spirit of the body. And so, Elisa, in India, the shilajit comes from the Himalayan mountains or mountainous areas.
That's correct. That's where the shilajit comes from. There's some other options also to help get fluoride out of the body. Something that we found locally in Las Vegas actually is zeolite in the powder form, is the one that we sell at BerkSuperfoods.com. And that one is also a great product to remove any type of heavy metal out of the body. For heavy metal poisoning, for fluoride, it will basically absorb toxin and gently remove it out of the body. So that's another one. Another one of my favorite detoxing herbs / foods, because this is also a food, is chlorella. And that is just basically a green algae. And that is also known for getting heavy metals like mercury or other such toxins out of the body. It's also very, very nourishing and it gives you a ton of energy. I actually have to be mindful not to take chlorella before going to sleep because it keeps me up. It gives me that much energy when I take it.
Great. Yeah, I know here, there's a lot of the top professional gaming players are using a lot of different types of herbs and natural organic supplements to nourish their bodies. In Melbourne, organic food and natural supplements are absolutely huge. We went to last night a 24/7 convenience store. So just like in Austin, Texas, or in New York, say you go to your local down the road 24/7 convenience store because you've forgotten something. This store was all organic. It was full of raw foods. It was full of any possible type of vegan, organic, raw variant from yogurts, made from yogurt, cheeses, made from almonds. It was absolutely incredible. And the store was so full of products you could hardly move in the store. It had so much stuff in it, Andrew.
Yeah, it was pretty profound. It was what I probably would look to create if I had the space and availability to do such a thing. And yeah, it was amazing.
And I know you and Elise had a bit of a chat to the owner there. I mean, what type of people do you think are coming in at 2 a.m. to pick up your bag of goji berries or your raw organic sprouted protein powders?
First thing that comes to mind is well-informed people.
Indeed. Just because you're well-informed doesn't mean you're not staying up past 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's kind of silly that nothing healthy is available after 10 o'clock. But this place was great because they said they're open 24/7. So you can pretty much anytime you need raw organic almond milk, go to the store and buy it.
Yeah, Melbourne really does remind me a lot of Austin, Texas in the food department. I know in Austin, Texas, they have incredible food, incredible organic food. There's a lot of great family businesses. In Melbourne, you cannot find a big corporate business that's controlling your food supply. There are so many family-owned, organic, naturally sourced, locally produce-sourced restaurants in Melbourne. It's incredible to go dining here. And I know it's the same thing in Austin. There's great stores like Juiceland that's very popular, which have organic local produce. Andrew, I know at the event, we actually catered the World Fitness event in Austin with locally supplied produces. We had Menon's Kitchen cater the whole entire event, organic and raw. What type of food places in Austin, Ryan, are you finding yourself at?
Oh, just some of the ones you said I love. Casa de Luz is amazing. They're open pretty much during all day. It's, vegan, vegetarian food. It's all cooked and prepared right there, all organic. It's pretty amazing. And then Wheatsville is also amazing. They have cater to a lot of, vegan vegetarians. They also have a lot of organic products available, which is great. And then I want to chime in too about what you guys were saying about staying up late. It was funny. There's one article I had read that 3 different studies show that intelligent people tend to stay up later, do more drugs, and have more sex. So I'm not necessarily condoning, or maybe I am, any or all of those, but I guess we can check into more of that after the break.
War of heaven descends to the earth, a time where the mind is defined and confined. We the people need to realign with the divine. A government for the people, by the people realigns. No more taxation without representation. It's time for the people to have their say, no longer the prey. Aligned with truth, there's nothing we cannot do. Divide and conquer lies and false promises. These are the archonic weapons of hurtful decay. The abundance of the earth is the perfect technology, and the golden age is now. Rise together as one in peace and prosperity.
All right, everyone, this is Ryan Metzel. We are back here on Texas Liberty Radio. This is 89.1 FM here in Austin. And we are going to open up the phones. If you have any questions for Manny, the owner of Free Your Fitness 24, for Andrew, Dave, Dr. Lisa, myself, the call-in number is 512-646-1984. Again, that's 512-646-1984. And before break, I know Dr. Lisa was talking about some of the good supplements that you could take to get fluoride and other toxins out of your body. Those products are all available here at Brave New Books, and you can also find them online at burkesuperfoods.com. That's BURKESUPERFOODS.com. So feel free to get all those products there. Pricing is a lot better, I've found, rather than going to like a Whole Foods or a big grocery store chain. So they try to cut out the middlemen and try to get the products directly to the consumer for affordable prices. So I know before break we were talking a little bit about some of the Texas Hold'em. So do you guys want to go into that a little bit more and see maybe what we can do to eventually make that illegal here back in Texas?
This is a bit of an issue, which I'm just trying to understand. So in Texas, and God bless Texas, I love Texas. Lisa was born in Texas, actually.
San Antonio, yes.
Yeah. For every chance he has, he tells everyone, I was born from Texas.
True.
And I love Texas. I love Austin. And I just don't understand. I mean, you can carry a gun. You can drive a car. You can sit in class for high school for 17 years in college. Or actually in the US, it'd be less than that, about 10 years. But you can't be trusted to play a card game. And a card game that is a multi-billion-dollar industry. I mean, you can get operating licenses around the world. I can't even think of a country that doesn't have Texas Hold'em.
Oh, it's everywhere. Everyone around the world plays it. A lot of times kids grow up playing it, learning from their parents. It's honestly a great family game. You can, bring the family together and everyone can have a good time. And like Andrew was saying earlier, it's amazing. It teaches you so much about yourself and the people you're playing with. So the idea that something like that is illegal in Texas where it started, it just kind of blows my mind, especially as, I guess, liberal and progressive Texas is in so many other regards.
Yeah, in Las Vegas, we have the World Series of Poker. And Andrew, approximately how many people turned up to the World Series of Poker last year?
Well, the main event draws generally somewhere between 6,000 and 8,000 players. And then one of the preliminary events actually had upwards of 20,000 players with multiple starting flights. So all in all, with spectators, family, you're probably looking at around 30,000 people come from all over the world to Vegas to have that experience.
And when you think of Texas Hold'em and the World Series events, you're getting 30,000 people. And of that, you've got 20,000 people spending a minimum of thousands and thousands of dollars from buy-ins, hotels, accommodation, food. I mean, the gain in Texas, in Austin, Texas, Travis County, Texas, we could have in the economy for local food providers, for local businesses, local hotel chains. It'd just be incredible. I mean, we really need to look at a solution for this.
Yeah, it would be absolutely amazing. And as the cliche goes, which I've found to be relatively true, everything's bigger in Texas. A casino in Texas, the idea of such a thing is rather exciting.
And Ryan, with Austin, Texas, we had a charity event in Austin, Texas, and I think we got like 100 or 200 players turn up. There was so much excitement about playing Texas Hold'em in Texas.
Oh, it was incredible. We did the charity event at the Zach Theater the same day the Austin Universe show was held, the natural IMBA bodybuilding competition, and everyone loved it. It was a beautiful location, overlooked the whole city. The catering was just amazing from Mannins, all the, raw vegan food. People didn't even know it was, raw and vegan and extremely healthy, and they still loved it. And everyone got together and, they played Texas Hold'em poker, and, it was a great time. I'm not sure what the issue is. There's so much money available.
We streamed the charity event out so everyone could take a look at it. Friends and family could log online and laugh and weep and cry and as their friends played. And looks like we have a caller, Ryan, wanting to ask about a question about Manny's Gym. And can we bring that caller online, Andrew?
Yeah, here's Sarah Beth from Texas.
How's it going, Sarah Beth? This is Manny. What's going on? How can I help you?
Hey, yes, I was just listening in and had a few questions about the gym for your fitness that you've been talking about.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, can you just talk a little bit more, a couple things about, how it's different from other gyms as far as incorporating the military style training and someone's coming to look for, muscle growth and really gaining some muscle mass?
Absolutely. I'm so glad you stayed tuned with us since the very beginning. I did mention my veteran experience with my military experience and shifting that into a small business and making it what it is today. Like Sarah Beth said, I am a former Marine, did 3 tours in Iraq, 4 years in the Marine Corps from 2004 to 2008. And I've learned quite a bit of information. I grew up and matured a lot faster than an 18-year-old would, or even a 17-year-old would, straight out of high school and going into college. But one incident that stuck in my mind, and it's been with me for a very long time. When I was in boot camp, I was 18 years of age, and in the Marine Corps, you have a test. The test is called a physical fitness test. And this test, you're asked to run 3 miles in a certain time, then you're asked to do a certain amount of pull-ups, and you're asked to do a certain amount of sit-ups. Well, the max pull-ups you can get is 20. At 100 points, and the total points you need to make a perfect score is 300. So you have to run 3 miles in less than 18 minutes, do a max pull-ups of 20, and do 100 sit-ups in less than 60 seconds. So, of course, I get on the pull-up bar, jump on the pull-up bar, and I start doing pull-ups. Well, I max out at 22, and I have this drill instructor by my side. He's what you picture a drill instructor: big, huge, muscular veins popping out of his neck, his muscles popping out of his forehead. It was just a scary sight to see at 18 years of age. It goes back to the mental strength, as I told you about, and what I've incorporated with my gym. He was sitting there yelling at me, telling me all kinds of names, just in a sense, motivating me. Vocal cues, motivating. I literally stopped at 22, and I felt like I could not do any more. Well, come to find out, I knocked out 30. I knocked out 8 more pull-ups when I mentally put a blockage on myself personally, stopping at 22. With him yelling in my face, him, screaming and motivating me, I was able to get 8 more. So how's that led to my gym right now? Well, with that example, that scenario, that incident, I incorporate vocal cues to all my life changes. If I'm expecting 100% of you when we do a general fitness class, I am going to give you 110% of me. You're going to hear me. I'm going to motivate you. I'm going to take you to the next level. I'm going to push you to the next level in which you think you cannot be in. I strongly believe everybody does have a drive and does have a mental strength. They just need somebody to get it out of them. And I'm that person. I would definitely bring mental power, mental strength into your lifestyle, not just in the gym atmosphere, but as a whole, emotionally, and taking that home and sharing that with your friends and family. As far as, what was your question, Sarah Beth, about muscle gain? And did you have something about that? I'm sorry.
Yes, just about, especially for females when you have trouble really gaining muscle, putting on muscle, and wanting to get a lot stronger. That's been a challenge for me. So, do you guys work with people and females in particular about trying to put on that muscle?
Absolutely. And I just want to, knock off something that's been in trends and people have been hearing a lot of. If you work out and you're a female, you're not going to get big and bold. It's just not going to happen. Females have a high level of a hormone. This hormone is called estrogen. And what this hormone does, it prohibits another hormone called testosterone. So with your high level estrogen levels, in order for you to become big and bulky, like what you see on TV, you have to, take some supplements and go to the next level. You choose to go to the next level, would it be enhancements? So I just want, kill that right off the back. You will not get big and bulky if you work out with weights or if you work out at my gym. If you are looking for the weight gain or muscle tone, we definitely, our general fitness classes definitely target weight loss and muscle tone. They're two different arenas. With muscle mass gain, that's going to be more of a one-on-one training session with one of our trainers, due to it being such a detailed exercise routine that you have to do. When you start doing heavy loads or heavy resistance on your skeletal muscles, you increase the chance of injury, and that's not something you want. So if you were looking for that muscle mass growth, I would definitely recommend you talking to one of our trainers, or simply coming in and getting a body analysis and figuring out your numbers, in which these numbers were able to tell you your resting metabolic rate, your fat percentage, your muscle mass percentage, and along with, of course, your overall weight and your body mass index. But I hope that can answer your question, Sarah Beth.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. It sounds like an amazing place. I appreciate your input and giving us more information.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for calling. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
And Ryan, we have something kind of exciting planned for next year in Austin, Texas. Being in Australia, we brought over about 30 or 40 Australian fitness competitors to Austin, Texas, and filled them out in the hotel rooms. They loved it there, and we took them to the juice bars. We took them to the organic family-owned restaurants in Austin, and I believe we're working with many to look at having an obstacle course for the World Natural Drug Tested Fitness event this year.
That is true. Manny does have a significant amount of open land there, so we're looking to do if you guys have seen, say, the Battle Frog course, or people doing like the CrossFit games and all that. These are becoming extremely popular, and it's great. We have a large area now where we can do that. You want to talk a little bit more about what you're going to be developing here over the next few months, Manny? Exactly,
Ryan. I really appreciate bringing that up. My vision is I have two and a half acres in the back of open field in which I'm looking to incorporate an obstacle course. As you know, the common trend right now is like American Ninja, Battle Frog, Spartan Race. So to be able to bring something natural and competitive to the Austin arena, I look forward to bringing that. But I'll talk more about that in the break once we get back online.
Sounds good. Thanks, Manny.
The light in me sees the light in
My name is Andrew Lichtenberger. Some of you may know me as Acuity. We are back streaming live on January 16th, 2016. And we wanted to ask Dr. Elisa about women's fitness and how she's approached it. And I just wanted to give one small anecdote of our travels around the world this past year. We spent some time in Iceland, and the women's fitness industry there is booming comparatively to other places I've been. And so much so that they all have a unique set of exercises they do, and they offer classes even. They call them butt lift classes. And clearly the women are very empowered there, and they're all very healthy and beautiful. And it's a very, very inspiring place to work out, the world-class gym and other gyms around Reykjavik in Iceland.
Yeah, Andrew, we were there. We brought Ryan actually over for a yoga teacher training in Iceland. We flew one of the top yoga teachers of India to Iceland and had 7 of our friends come for this yoga certification. A lot of fun. And Elisa actually won the U.S. championships in bikini fitness. And she has done a lot of butt lifting, squats, jumps, all these type of things. But before we go into that, I wanted to ask Manny a question. When will we begin seeing some of these changes on your 2 acres? And if people have some ideas, concepts, or want to get involved and start doing some CrossFit styles of training out there, how do they get in touch with you, Manny?
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Well, the project is still in the developing stages. With any obstacle course, with anything I do, I want to make sure everything's, all of my ducks are in the row. If you want to get in touch, if you have any ideas, you simply just want to learn more about the gym, and how to incorporate fundamental exercises into your workout routine, or even change out your workout routine, you want to give me a call, at 512-465-2721, or shoot me an email at, info@freeyourfitness24.com. Info at FREEFITNESS freeyourfitness24.com. I'll answer any questions you may have, even if it's simply, hey, Manny, I'm trying to lose weight. What do you recommend? I'm all about it. Thank you so much for that.
And with our Australian competitors, Australia, we have a stream going out around the world, and we've got some Australian listeners here. We were chatting with them yesterday. I'm really looking forward to showing them Manny's gym in Austin, Texas. I love what he's doing there. It was great to have him at the show. Really looking forward to working with him this year, with creating more health and positive vibes around the world. And going into Iceland. Now, Iceland. For such a small population and a little place, you really can't say enough about Iceland, I think.
Yeah, it's really a spectacular place. Until you go and experience it, it's hard to kind of imagine what it would be. But, it's an island, and there's only around 300,000 people, primarily living in the capital city, Reykjavik. And they're a very industrious bunch, despite not having so many of them. But, yeah.
Yeah, Iceland has approximately a 90% middle class. They have basically the longest lived group of people right now in the world. They have, it's actually illegal to be homeless. If you don't have a home in Iceland, they give you a home. It's supposed to be the safest place in the world. When we're in Iceland, at least we couldn't believe that people would leave their babies outside the restaurants.
Oh, yeah, it's a thing there, to just leave the baby in the stroller outside, just park it outside in front of the restaurant, and then go inside and eat your meal, and just leave the baby to get fresh air and a nap in the Icelandic winter.
And when you talk about crime in Iceland, people look at you like it's a word they get to understand. Like, what is crime? And interesting, Iceland put in jail the bankers who attempted one of those little nasty bailout things, and now they're selling off the bank. And every citizen of Iceland will get around $40,000, I believe it is, or somewhere around $40,000. If we read the article, I hope I'm not too out. It might be $4,000.
I mean, that's spectacular.
They put the bankers in jail and then sold their bank and gave the money to the people, which is incredible. But while we're in Iceland, the women and men are very, very, very healthy. There was approximately, just in the city, about 6 or 7 organic, raw, vegan, healthy restaurants for such a small population. And fitness is huge in Iceland. I know in Iceland they have a lady, they call her Thor, and she is a couple of times the world champion in CrossFit. And the women there are so strong, flexible, very, very healthy, Lisa.
They are, they are. They're actually stunning. They're tall and beautiful and strong. And I think maybe because it's so cold in Iceland, everyone just goes to the gym. and works out because it's cold outside. That's my thought. But fitness is huge there. Everybody's into it. Everyone's at the gym. And it's kind of like that's where the people show off their style, because when you're walking around, it's cold. You got all these coats on. But in the gym, all these girls have their little yoga pants on and they're like doing their thing, looking all sexy in their workout clothes. It's a funny scene, and it's a fun place to be a part of because it's inspiring. And it inspires. That's something that Manny was talking about too earlier on, is when you're exercising, you need that inspiration around you to achieve your goals. If everyone around you is subpar, if they're not really into it, if you don't have an inspiring coach or someone who's inspiring you to work out, whether it's workout partners in a class or just people around in the gym that are really good at what they're doing, then you don't have anything to aspire to. So it's really important in fitness to have your mentors and have people who push you and help you get better.
And I know when Elisa prepared for her fitness competition, she did the fitness competition through detoxing the body by just nourishing the body with juices, clean foods, superfoods, those type of things. You want to tell us a little about your regime, Elisa?
Oh, I'm giving away my secrets now. All right. Well, I am primarily raw food vegan, and I eat primarily organic. And being a vegan, of course, everyone's saying, well, how do you get your protein and how do you build muscle on a vegan diet? And I assure you it can be done. And we've met quite a few amazing vegan fitness competitors who have done quite well.
Yeah, next week we'll have a guest, Brenda. And Ryan, Brenda is a magazine that's based in Austin, Texas.
She owns Vegan Health and Fitness magazine. Yep.
And I believe somehow you ended up in the magazine. Ryan sent me a picture on my phone of him with his legs spread open in some position.
It's called the splits, Dave.
Awesome.
Oh, the splits. That's right. Oh, hold on. Our ratings just went up 3 points.
So if everyone wants to check out me with my legs spread apart in a magazine, pick up most recent Vegan Health and Fitness magazine at the store near you.
And I'm sure Brenda got some great shots with you down Austin. Where did you guys do that photo shoot? The background looked really amazing.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was at Barton Springs. So it's a natural springs park, kind of like they have in Iceland. You guys had mentioned there's so many of the natural springs, and one of them is here in Austin at Barton Springs, which is amazing. That's where we did the photo shoot there. So,
yeah, I remember anyone who visits Austin, Texas, or is planning to visit Austin, Texas, our listeners around the world, there's an incredible swimming area where it's actually a natural river that runs through. You want to tell them a little bit about that river, Ryan?
Yeah, it's the Barton Springs. It's basically within Zilker Park's 358 acres, and it's I think it's the fourth largest spring in Texas. And you can go there all the time. I almost feel like I'm on the beach, like I'm on somewhere in like LA or Miami, and everyone's there in their bathing suit, and everyone's doing like yoga and acro yoga, and people have their hula hoops, and there's drum circles, and all the parents bring their kids, and it's just an amazing place. Just grassy hills, beautiful sun, and then clean water. And, you really can't ask more for that. That's where, a lot of people here in Austin during the summertime will go. You can kind of catch some sun, hop in the river right there. And there's a lot of people training, too, for like triathlons and professional swimmers. It's a great place to do that because, you're not getting fluoride and chlorine in your body the whole time by going in the pool. So I'm sure that helps as well.
Yeah, Andrew and I went for a dip in this Barton Springs, Andrew.
Yeah, we did. And it was magnificent, but it was a little chilly. I didn't do my Tumo breathing before I jumped in, so it took me a minute to acclimate.
Yeah, Tumo breathing is the Tibetan Buddhist breathing where the monks go into the mountains and they can sit in the snow and not have the bodies affected. We didn't really get too much into that. Actually, we tried some Tumo breathing when we were in Iceland because it was pretty cold. A lot of ice in Iceland.
Good place to practice.
And in Iceland also, they have the geothermal pools. Now, Iceland, the whole entire city is run geothermally. So Iceland has one of the smallest carbon footprints in the world. They have a volcano and they have glaciers. So throughout the whole of Iceland, there's no fluoride in the water. There's no toxins in the water. The water just comes naturally from the glaciers. And your warmth that creates your geothermal energy just comes from the volcano. And it really is so pristine and beautiful, the environment. When you see places like Barton Springs where we're working with the river, we're not destroying the river, but we're putting this incredible natural swimming pool with the river, working with nature. It's really the perfect co-experience between humans and nature. And in Iceland, these springs bubble up, and you're surrounded by ice. And the spring is incredibly warm and beautiful and blue in color. And you've got thousands of people enjoying nature. It's just such an incredible experience.
Yeah, it's very much part of their culture to do the hot springs thing, the hot tub thing, because they have so many natural hot springs. And of course, it's cold most of the year round. Never really gets above 60 degrees Fahrenheit in Iceland, even in mid-July. So people love going in their swimsuits and jumping in the natural springs. That's just what people do there.
Yeah, it really is the country of fire and ice. And we're about to go on our break again. But Andrew, just before we go on the break, I had a quick question for you.
Yes.
How amazing was the yoga training this year in Iceland?
It was really incredible. I very much enjoyed the shared experience of everyone growing together as a group and dealing with their issues and rejoicing in their new experiences together. And our teacher Sunil was lovely. He put his heart and soul into the training and really gave it his all. And I had a magnificent time. And yeah, it was really fascinating for me to have explained by someone who was, I guess, authentically trained by different yoga lineages, explain a lot of things I've been exposed to, but in a particularly...
You are listening to the Logos Radio Network. LogosRadioNetwork.com.
All right, everyone. This is Ryan Metzel here, back on Nourishment for the Spiritual Warrior radio show, live on 89.1 FM here in Austin, Texas, Texas Liberty Radio on the Logos Network. Call-in number is, if anyone wants to talk to myself, Dr. Lisa, David, Andrew, or our guest, Manny, number is 512-646-1984. Again, that's 512-646-1984. 1984. And before the break, we were talking about Iceland, and I had an absolutely amazing experience too. And I think you guys did an excellent job of answering the question here for the Reuters article I'm looking at, why Iceland has the longest lived men while the U.S. scores poorly. And also this BC article I'm looking at, why is violent crime so rare in Iceland? So I think all of us, having actually been there and experienced it ourselves, I think we understand why people live there so long, they're so healthy, and why it's such a beautiful place to live. And, people don't need to be committing crimes because they're at peace with themselves and with nature. So,
yeah, Ryan, when you have a 90% middle class, they have the highest amount of per population graduate women students who complete their studies. You don't have this feeling of lack there. No one is worried about eating. No one's worried about being educated. And people really see each other as a family. And, Iceland has a large population of people who are into their spirituality. And they really are embracing the idea of, treat yourself like you'd like to have someone treat you. That old golden rule. And I think that's what we really need to do around the world. We really need to think about, how do I want to be treated by someone else? And we really got to look at it's a opportunity for all of us to just today, to do one thing today and think about, how do I want to be treated? And if I treat someone how I want to be treated, can we all have some peace and prosperity?
The simple golden rule. I mean, the Christians definitely had that part right, from the Bible. It's definitely one thing you can, I think, just follow. And I don't think anything, bad comes from following that one simple golden rule.
Yeah, and we're seeing this in Melbourne. We were at the Melbourne Crown Casino last night finishing up a tournament. The Crown Casino was so busy, it was like New Year's in Las Vegas. Australia has a really strong middle class, just like Austin, Texas. And in Melbourne, I'm yet to see a violent confrontation with that many people. It was like Las Vegas on New Year's at the Crown Casino. With that many people, I thought, you know what? It's going to be a crazy night tonight. I'm just here to try some poker, some mindfulness. And it was so many people, but I did not see one drunken, belligerent person causing any type of violence. The police walked around with no guns. When we're in Iceland, the police don't really carry guns, but the citizens have guns. When we're in London, the police officers didn't have guns. It was just incredible. People, around the world, we really can live in peace and we can live in prosperity.
Yeah, I think one of the keys is a sense of community. And that's one thing about Iceland. That's one thing that I absolutely adore about Austin with regard to their sense of community. And I think that's why people just seem nicer in Austin to me than in most other parts of the country. People are happy, and there's very little crime in Iceland because there's a community. In Melbourne, there's a sense of community. So you see people getting along, a lot less violence, a lot less crime. It's just having that local sense of community.
Yeah, I think when people see their neighbors and just the people on the street as part of an extended family, it really goes a long way. Just in terms of everyone, treating each other like brothers and sisters. And there's actually another health food store we checked out here in Melbourne. I believe it's called Passion Foods, and the owner was telling us that he works with around 400 different groups, from local growers to sustainable individuals who make all sorts of products, from kombuchas to the nut and seed cheeses David was mentioning earlier. And he wants to offer something to the community, and he's bringing it to the community, and it's just amazing to see everyone working together.
Yeah, and if people would like to write into the show or contact the show, if you have a small business in Austin, Texas that's providing healthy, conscious things, we'd love to refer you guys out to some of the businesses in Australia. Australian businesses in Melbourne, in Perth, there's so many organic, natural, holistic, positive businesses. We went down the street last night, and there was so many organic restaurants. We went to this one called, what was it, Andrew?
Young Green Foods in Fitzroy.
And it was incredible. It was kind of like a Korean meets raw Zen feel. They had incredible rice bowls. They had incredible desserts.
Yeah, it's just a phenomenal place. They have a bunch of unique drinks they make there, all sorts of organic teas, organic juices. They make their own smoothies. They in-house make their own kombucha. Kombucha is actually really big here in Melbourne.
Yeah, we found some great U.S. brands they're in Melbourne. So if you've got something in Austin, and one thing I love about Austin, Texas, is the incredible food and the incredible small businesses that provide jobs, that create family, that provide a sense of community. We'd love to support you.
Yeah, and basically, getting back to basics is the lifestyle we're all kind of talking about here. Getting rid of toxins, not ingesting foods that are unhealthy, getting back to simple organic foods, getting back to farming, getting back to local community, local business. And that just kind of makes everybody happy all around.
Yeah, at this restaurant last night, the mural where you sit showed a group of people, a family people harvesting the food, cooking the food, playing music, the kids dancing. These are mural paintings painted by the store owners. And it just reminds you, like everything that we bring into our bodies come from the earth. Like it's almost sacred food. And it's a beautiful thing being able to nourish yourself with something that's been provided for you before you even got here. It's like you turn up and like, oh my God, look, there's chocolate beans, there's vanilla beans, there's rice, there's all these thousands of flavors to try and indulge. It's like we've been so amazingly provided for. And it's just really exciting that there's that grace on that abundance of food to experience. So we should really rejoice, and we really should support our local farmers, our local restaurants, our local businesses like Manny's, because, we are part of a community.
Right. And we need to uplift each other and encourage each other and support each other. So when you find your group of fitness people, or your group of people who do yoga, or your group of people who want to make organic food together every Thursday, just promoting that good feeling all around in your community. It's my opinion and experience that energy permeates throughout your community and throughout the city and throughout the country and throughout the world. And that's kind of what we're promoting with this lifestyle, is just getting back to basics, getting back to nature, and uplifting everyone around you.
Yeah, we're really seeing crossroads right now around the world. Austin has been a leader in organic foods for the U.S. And we're seeing, organic natural foods, complementary medicine. These things have been around in China and India for a very, very long time. We're going to have a guest next week from India. There's a province in India where it's illegal to bring anything into that province that's not natural, organic. India has been supplying hundreds of millions of people with natural organic food for thousands of years. And they're experts, like China, experts providing large amounts of organic food. So we're going to bring on next week our guest from India to explain a little bit about natural farming. We're going to go out to our break.
Here a little bit. It's almost as if, I believe the state you're talking about is Sikkim, is the northeast Indian state, that it's bringing its own organic, basically it's a whole state of only organic food is what they're going to want to have, which is amazing. So it's almost as if you just...
Yeah, and interesting enough, they're actually going to also provide licenses for poker.
Yeah, online gaming licenses, it's true.
What is it? It's this unusual thing. You go organic, you go natural food, and you want to philosophize with card games, math. I mean, geniuses come out of organic places.
Yeah, exploring
Noticing
consciousness
patterns
through games obviously is, to me especially, something that's very exciting, and I hope everyone else finds bliss in that same experience.
align with nature and work together.
Is it possible for radio waves to make you sick? Many people think so, and some are taking refuge in the remote mountains of West Virginia. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, and I'll tell you about something called the Radio Quiet Zone next.
Privacy is under attack. When you give up data about yourself, you'll never get it back again. And once your privacy is gone, you'll find your freedoms will start to vanish too. So protect your rights, say no to surveillance, and keep your information to yourself. Privacy, it's worth hanging on to. This message is brought to you by StartPage.com, the private search engine alternative to Google, Yahoo, and Bing. Start over with StartPage.
Wi-Fi, power lines, and cell towers bombard us with radio waves. But for some people, even low levels of this radiation can be debilitating. The condition called electromagnetic hypersensitivity causes acute headaches, burning skin, and chronic pain. The effects are so bad that a colony of Wi-Fi refugees has taken root in the U.S. Radio Quiet Zone in West Virginia. That's an area where all radio transmissions are banned because of the sensitive radio telescopes located there. Gas refrigerators, wood stoves, kerosene lamps. These folks are all too happy to live free from electricity and the radio pollution they say goes with it. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht for StartPage.com, the world's most private search engine.
She'll be kidding about chemtrails.
Live Free Speech Radio, LogosRadioNetwork.com.
Hi, everyone. We are back. This is Dr. Elisa Wampel speaking. I'm here with David Burke and Lucky Chewy Lichtenberger. And we've been talking about organic food, healthy lifestyle. We've been talking about fitness. And we were talking about Iceland and some of our travels around the world. And one thing I wanted to mention about Iceland is how pristine it is. The energy there is so pure. It feels different than when you're in a city. And maybe that is why people are so healthy. That could be part of it. But basically, it goes back to being healthy and being pure and getting toxin out of your body. And the more clean you are, the more healthy you feel. So part of getting ready for my fitness competition was a detox process also, because just living life, it just so happens that we absorb toxins from our environment. I would even go as far as saying negative energy from your environment. So there's a process by which you detox the body and also build yourself up. And when I first trained for my event, I actually wasn't planning on getting ready for an event, but David tricked me into training for an event and doing a competition. It was actually kind of funny. He came over with one of my friends and said, I'm training your friend to do this fitness event. And I said, I don't have time. I'm too busy. And my friend said, please train with me. And so I said, okay, fine. I will do it with you. And then David trained both of us. And then she dropped out and I ended up doing the competition by myself. But thanks, because David had really stuck it out and taught me a lot.
Anyone knows when you've got a friend dieting, you need to be very, very quiet, supportive, loving, kind, empathetic.
That's true. Actually, detoxing can be a little bit difficult. Andrew's had also this experience of doing detox and cleanse. And as those toxins come out of your tissues, they dump into your bloodstream while your body is filtering it out. And it can be uncomfortable.
Yeah, I usually just try to go into hibernation mode because I know I'm not a pleasant person to be around when I'm going through that experience. I don't want anyone else to have any runoff of that experience.
Yeah, it's like darkness before the dawn. Like Andrew is in hibernation and then he comes out like he's floating, walking on clouds or something. He's so happy.
Yeah, I mean, it really is worth it. After you get through the difficult part, you do feel a sense of renewal. I don't want to say quite a full-on rebirth of your experience in life, but it is quite profound.
Yeah, and when with getting Elisa ready for this show, years ago I was a world champion of fitness, And I didn't really approach fitness the same way as most people because I was blessed in having a lot of supportive spiritual people around. I got to talk to a lot of different monks and priests and nuns about philosophy and life. And one thing that always resonated with me was that, we're really just the human body, the human creation, it's perfect right now. And we're going to go into the human body and how it's created more in our next segment. But with explaining the basics of a philosophical wellness strategy with Dr. Elisa, it was like, to look beautiful, to look healthy, to be strong, you're already those things. You just need to remove what's not you. The human body is so powerful. It's so advanced. There's no supercomputer that can come near the human body and its complexity, its brilliance. So with Dr. Elisa, I would say, let's just remove what's not you. Let's just remove negative thoughts. Let's just remove bad foods. Let's just realign ourselves with nature and positivity. And Elisa didn't get weaker really from her food that she was taking because she was nourishing her body. She maintained a lot of strength and a lot of health during the whole diet process. And she just went back to what she was. Every person out there, we're all beautiful. We're all this magnificent creation. And if we just remove what's not you, you're left with what's you. Beauty, strength, health, love, supported by nature.
That's true. And one of the things that I found to be the most effective in not only removing toxin, but also building up the body is drinking fresh organic green juice and also taking spirulina and chlorella and protein supplements, because green foods in general detox the body. But at the same time, they offer vital nutrients to the body. So you're taking out what's not you, the toxin things, because like most people, I grew up eating junky food back in the day and in the 80s when we used to just eat canned food and things with preservatives and chemicals. Unfortunately, my parents weren't aware of natural foods. So when I was younger, I was sick a lot of the time. And then, of course, I was taking prescription medication instead of taking herbs when I got sick. So over the years, all these toxins build up in the body. And one of the best ways to detox your body is to just drink fresh organic green juice or take spirulina and chlorella supplements, which I usually have in the form of powder, and I stir it into water, possibly with a little lohan and stevia and some vegan rice protein. And so that helps pull the toxin out of the body.
Yeah, one of our interesting guests we're going to bring on from China is going to talk about the Chinese healthcare system. And there's a great documentary you can watch online. And where in China, because the medical is free for the people there, you can go in, you can choose whether you want a Western, modern style medicine or you want a traditional type of medicine. And we'll bring up the documentary, will show just what people who have the choice. It's not about cost. They have the choice to decide what they want and the type of results they're getting. I believe the World Health Organization came out and said, we have these modalities that can make medicine affordable for everyone. And one of those that came from China was acupuncture. We'll talk about that on our next segment. But Elisa, going back to your fitness training routine that you did, can you give us a little bit of a insight to, your day of training?
The physical exercises?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. There was a lot to the whole entire regimen. And as Manny was talking about earlier, it's not just about the exercise. It's about the sleep. It's about the diet. It's about everything. But specifically with regard to exercise, I would usually start out with some rounds, fat burning exercises, rounds being like interval training, basically doing a lot of squats, a lot of lunges, a lot of repeated exercises for a minute straight. I would usually do about 15 to 30 minutes of these kind of high intensity exercises. And then I would also do weights. And David is extremely good at weight training. And I learned some amazing weight training techniques from David that involve not just picking up the weight, but also squeezing the muscles, especially before training. And I've had the experience of skipping that step and injuring myself. So now I really understand the value of doing muscle squeezing even before you lift. So we did a lot of squeezing and also stretching the muscle groups that we're using so as not to lose flexibility, because it's easy to lose flexibility if you are doing weight training and not stretching. So that's also a really important thing. And I actually combine a lot of yoga with
Lisa, Manny's got a quick question for you.
Yep.
It goes to you as well, David. I've heard a lot and I've seen a lot, and I understand the science behind it. But maybe you can help the listeners understand why is it important to activate those muscles by squeezing them, pre-workout. What does that do for the muscle?
Yeah, great question, Manny. When we look at the human body, it works just incredible. And when we are going to lift a large amount of weight, we need to send an email basically to the human body. So if I'm just sitting down relaxing, my mind is relaxing, my conscious is relaxing, my heart rate's down, my nerves are relaxed, my whole entire body's relaxed. So a great technique you can use is you can say you want to do arm curls. Well, before you lift the weight, you can begin to squeeze your hand, then squeeze your forearm, squeeze your bicep like you're doing an arm curl. And you can then visualize you're actually doing the arm curl. And now there's some great studies. I believe, Ryan, there's a study in Ohio State where they showed, we're about to go on break?
Yeah, we'll pick that up after the break. Yeah, great study from Ohio State that I'll let everyone know about.
Back to the show. Ryan, we were just talking about Ohio State, a study. Maybe you can bring it up. Ryan is just a couple of months from completing his master's in kinesiology. Congratulations, Ryan. I know you spent a lot of time at the different family-owned cafes studying late at night in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, definitely. Repeating a lot of the stuff and then hopefully helping people understand that there's, more to some of these things than a lot of studies that are out there. I like looking at a lot of the alternative studies. The one you mentioned was the Cleveland Clinic Foundation in Ohio. And the group of participants who did the mental exercises increased muscle strength by 13.5%. And it remained for 3 months following the mental training. So imagine what you could do if you combined both, if you actually went to the gym, worked out, and the mental training. And that's what a lot of the top professional athletes are all doing.
Yeah, Ryan. So with mental training, so when we're talking to many about the squeezing, preparing ourselves before we work out. Mm-hmm. These athletes, their mental training was actually visualizing working out, not physically working out.
Yes, that is correct. And they still made those increases, which is pretty significant, I guess, in my book. A lot of times I see people at the gym and you'll see these people over years and they're lifting the same exact weights. And so this study is saying you could literally just sit at home and sit on the couch. Not that I would recommend doing that, but you would actually gain more muscle strength a lot of times. Yeah, you could sit in Barton Springs and think about working out and, get some vitamin D from the sun, take a dip, and you can get your workout at the same time. So, for people that are really intense, for pro athletes, I would recommend doing that on, days off. Your body needs to recover, but, your mind, you can always use your mind to connect with the body, that mind-body connection.
Yeah, there was a documentary, Ryan, that they said came down from NASA when they were doing research. And they said that when the body thinks about doing something, when the mind thinks about doing something, the body can't tell the difference.
Yes.
So if I think about running and I'm visualizing running, my nerves, my whole body fires like I'm running. So for the question many asked, once you begin to squeeze your arm, you're doing an arm curl, and then you begin to visualize the type of weight you want to lift when you're squeezing, your whole entire nervous system, your body turns on. It's that intelligent, and it begins to calibrate itself to take on that weight, to take on that duty. And you can use the same technique whether you're going to climb, do some pull-ups, squeeze the body area that you're going to use first. And now you've sent that email to all the cells in the whole entire body. And you're going to say, hey, I'm going to do this activity. And your focus, your mental focus isn't distracted. A lot of times when we get injured, whether it's lifting or sports or day-to-day life, we're like, my mind wasn't on what I was doing. I got a call on my phone, I look down, I drop the barbell, hit my foot. And, I really recommend you find a great trainer. Go down to Manny's and work with, certified trainers with good experience that have good references. But as far as getting your body prepared, squeezing is one of the best things you can do in visualization.
Right. And to add to that, one of the benefits of squeezing is that you're learning to isolate different muscle groups. So, for instance, you're just focusing on isolating your biceps, or you're just focusing on isolating your lumbar region. So it gives you more mental control over the muscle group. And also you're activating the tendons and ligaments that attach to the bones. And So when you're squeezing, you're, like David said, you're sending the body an email. Okay, not only am I going to use my biceps muscle, but I'm going to also engage these tendons and these ligaments. So you're less likely to tear something or pull something because your tendons and ligaments are also waking up and they're saying, okay, we're about to be used.
Yeah, when we go into the deep practices of yoga, the philosophical discussions, there's the idea of Buddhism. Now, a lot of people may interpret in the West Buddhism being a religion, but more so Buddhism is a Sanskrit word, just means awaken. And the great martial artists that movies are inspired by, like these Jet Li movies, come from the idea of these Buddhist martial artists. And what they would actually do in their training, they would get their body to a level where they had perfect flexibility. They would use different types of drawing, painting, calligraphy to steady their mind. They would learn everything they could about how the internals of the body functions. Through martial arts and Tai Chi movement, rotation, jumping, turning, twisting, they would understand how the body in its phi ratio creation can turn and twist. And then they would sit down, cross their legs, and then only visualize their training. It was the end of physical training, and it was a time to their most profound level of training, which was just sitting. So when you see like these statues in yoga of people just sitting, and those statues can be found all around the world in all different cultures, people sitting and visualizing. They're actually in the translations from these old martial arts books. They're growing their consciousness. They're growing their body. They're growing their strength.
That's true.
For someone who may have reached that level and like, it's a time for excitement, like Ohio State, these kids found out the idea that you are so profound and perfect, you can grow your consciousness and your body.
And the squeezing exercises, this isn't new. In Tai Chi and Qigong exercises, we also do squeezing as a Qigong exercise, basically to develop what we call Qi, or energy, for lack of a better word, Qi power in the body. So when you squeeze, you basically condense and pack the Qi into the muscle and the bone and build up strength.
Yeah, in the Greek culture, the warrior class would actually do these type of squeezing techniques to prepare their bodies for battle. And they also had an internal art, just like Qi, which was known, it was kind of secret, it was like called parthenogenesis. It was the idea like Zeus holds the thunderbolt. It was the idea they had this yin-yang energy, this positive negative energy that they could squeeze together through squeezing their body and begin releasing this pulsating energy. And the different types of priests in their sculptures showed like energy coming out of their arms in the form of snakes to try and depict this energy. So squeeze is a great way to begin unlocking. In every person, we have this electromagnetic energy, this Qi energy, this force energy, to begin communicating and letting that energy out.
I think it was very interesting, too, the yoga teacher that we had, Sunil, that came to the yoga teacher training in Iceland that you guys all organized, that I was blessed to be able to attend. Although we spent most of the time on what's commonly referred to as asana. I know we can have the discussion about the A on the end of that, but asana is, just holding positions for an extended period of time. But one of the things he actually taught us without knowing any of our backgrounds was the squeezing. One of the days for one of the classes he went through and we did a whole workout, basically visuals, with which he incorporated the visualization and the squeezing of the muscles, which comes from a very, very ancient yoga tradition. So it's very interesting to see this in all these different types of, forms of martial arts and training over the, the beginning of time.
Yeah, you're right, Ryan. It just seems like profound, good people. We all around the world looked at the mountain and we saw the mountain. Sunil, this yoga teacher, because a lot of us are also trained in different types of yoga. I contacted a friend of mine in government in India, and we wanted to find an authentic yoga teacher that had grown up since, he was a young boy and still is, they have both the spiritual side of yoga and they call it athletic yoga. So Sunil won several times the contortion type yoga, and they'd also done the spiritual type yoga. And it was just fascinating that the same type of techniques that around the world work, they just work. And Andrew, with the yoga training, Andrew's been doing yoga for quite a long time, meditation, mindfulness, at the table, sitting all those times. Now, with getting your mind, I know when I was reading through your book that you wrote, we were talking about different techniques of mindfulness. Can you explain a little bit about good habit and intuition? So we have a lot of people wanting to know how you're playing so well.
Yeah, absolutely. The difference between intuition and good habit is slight, but very relevant. And my interpretation of it is that in each moment, in each decision, the uniqueness and the variables specific to that situation are ever changing in our lives. So the habits that allow you to remove obstacles and succeed in whatever it is you're doing are very important to maintain and turn into better habits over time. But the intuition, which is your ability to perceive truth, in my opinion, of any situation you're in, is what I tend to draw from initially. Many people refer to it as trusting your instincts or going with your gut. And actually, in the gut, I believe there are neurotransmitters. So you do have a mind in your gut.
Yeah, in Chinese medicine, we do say that the mind is like a brain.
So when I play poker, initially I'm going with my intuition, and I'm then double checking with my my good habits. And when the two are in alignment, you see that it's very hard to describe, to put it into words, but it's really a spectacular experience.
Seems like it's the brain-body connection for the mind in poker is the same thing in athletic. So this is our last segment here. And I want to thank everyone for listening to our show, especially thanks to Manny here for being on the whole time with us. Thanks, Manny.
Oh, man, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
Make sure to check out his gym, Freer Fitness 24 down in South Austin. And next week we do have Brenda Carey, the owner of Vegan Health and Fitness magazine, which is distributed worldwide, especially Whole Foods and some of the specialty stores. And again, thank you for everyone listening here on the Logos Radio Network.
Ryan, if people would like to follow Andrew at the Aussie Millions, you can log on to the Aussie Millions Melbourne Crown Casino and support some of the great players. And we've got a lot of great players coming from the US for this event and around the world.
Cool, thanks. I'm Ryan Metzel.
And I'm Dr.